Joe Biden, by name of Joseph Robinette Biden, Jr., born November 20, 1942, Scranton, Pennsylvania, U.S., 46th President of the United States, 2021, and 47th Vice President of the United States, 2009-17, in the Democratic administration of President Barack Obama. He previously represented Delaware in the U.S. Senate, 1973 to 2009. Biden, who was raised in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Newcastle County, Delaware, received a bachelor's degree from the University of Delaware in 1965 and a law degree from Syracuse University in New York in 1968. During this time he married, 1966, Nelia Hunter, and the couple later had 3 children. After graduating from law school, Biden returned to Delaware to work as an attorney before quickly turning to politics, serving on the Newcastle County Council from 1970 to 1972. He was elected to the U.S. Senate in 1972 at the age of 29, becoming the 5th youngest senator in history. About a month later his wife and infant daughter were killed in a car accident, and his 2 sons were seriously injured. Although he contemplated suspending his political career, Biden was persuaded to join the Senate in 1973, and he went on to win re-election 6 times, becoming Delaware's longest-serving senator. In 1977 he married Jill Jacobs, an educator, and they later had a daughter. In addition to his role as U.S. Senator, Biden also was an adjunct professor, 1991 to 2008, at the Wilmington, Delaware, branch of the Widener University School of Law. He was particularly outspoken on issues related to the Kosovo conflict of the late 90s, urging U.S. action against Serbian forces to protect Kosovo against an offensive by Serbian President Slobodan Milosevic. On the Iraq War, 2003-11, Biden proposed a partition plan as a way to maintain a united, peaceful Iraq. Biden also was a member of the International Narcotics Control Caucus and was the lead senator in writing the law that established the Office of Drug Czar, a position that oversees their national drug control policy. Biden pursued the 1988 Democratic presidential nomination but withdrew after it was revealed that parts of his campaign stump speech had been plagiarized from British Labour Party leader Neil Kinnock without appropriate attribution. His 2008 presidential campaign never gained momentum, and he withdrew from the race after placing 5th in the Iowa Democratic caucus in January of that year. For coverage of the 2008 election after Barack Obama amassed enough delegates to secure the Democratic presidential nomination, Biden emerged as a front-runner to be Obama's vice presidential running mate. On August 23, Obama officially announced his selection of Biden as the Democratic Party's vice presidential nominee, and on August 27 Obama and Biden secured the Democratic Party's nomination. Biden remained involved in politics and was a vocal critic of President Donald Trump. Biden himself faced censure when, in 2019, various women accused him of inappropriate physical contact, notably hugging and kissing. Although his response was widely derided, "I'm sorry I didn't understand more. I'm not sorry for anything that I have ever done. I've never been disrespectful, intentionally to a man or a woman." His popularity remained high. Amid growing speculation that he would run for president in 2020, Biden announced his candidacy in April 2019, joining a crowded Democratic field. 2020 Biden chose Kamala Harris as his running mate. She became the first African American woman to appear on a major party's national ticket, and later that month, he officially was named the Democratic presidential nominee. Although pre-election polling had shown Biden with a significant lead in key battleground states, the actual contest proved to be much closer. Nevertheless, Biden and Harris succeeded in rebuilding the so-called Blue Wall through the Midwest and Rust Belt states, and on November 7, 4 days after the election, Biden secured the 270 electoral votes necessary to capture the presidency. Biden's eventual electoral vote total was 306 to Trump's 232. Biden won the popular vote by more than 7 million votes. The 2020 election was marked by a historically large voter turnout, made possible in part by modifications in voting procedures initiated in many states to ensure that voters could cast their ballots safely amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Significantly more Democrats voted in the 2020 election than in previous presidential contests, and the Democratic Party not only won the presidential election but also maintained its control of the U.S. House of Representatives and took control of the U.S. Senate from Republicans, though only by the slimmest of margins. The resulting Senate membership was evenly divided between the two parties at 50 senators each, but tie votes could be broken by Vice President Harris, acting in her constitutional role as President of the Senate. In the view of many Democrats, particularly progressives, the party's simultaneous control of the presidency and both houses of Congress afforded it a rare opportunity to pass transformative legislation that promised to make American society more democratic, equitable, and just. During the first weeks of his presidency, Biden signed a raft of executive orders, actions, and memoranda, many of which rescinded policies of the Trump administration, particularly in the areas of immigration, health care, and the environment. Notably, on his first day in office, Biden issued executive orders that re-entered the United States into the Paris Agreement on climate change and cancelled the country's withdrawal from the World Health Organization. Among Biden's goals in foreign policy were to repair frayed relations with several U.S. allies, to cooperate in global efforts to ameliorate climate change, and, in general, to return the United States to a position of global economic and political leadership. Biden had also promised during his campaign that he would withdraw all remaining U.S. troops from Afghanistan, finally ending nearly 20 years of U.S. military involvement in the country during all phases of the Afghan War, the longest military conflict ever fought by the United States. In April 2021, Biden announced a withdrawal of all U.S. troops by September 11, an extension of the May 1 withdrawal deadline negotiated with the Taliban by the Trump administration in 2020. By early August, after Biden had advanced the withdrawal deadline to August 31, the Taliban had begun to take military control of several Afghan provinces, and soon thereafter the Afghan capital, Kabul, was captured and the national government collapsed. Chaos ensued as the airport in Kabul was flooded with desperate Afghan refugees seeking to flee the country on American evacuation flights. During and after the withdrawal, the Biden administration was criticized by Republican and some Democratic leaders for having misjudged the strength and resolve of both the Taliban and the Afghan government and security